channel. We're going to be going over how I made this twisted band bangle. I'm going to talk a little bit about soldering and how to protect your metal as you are heating it to high temperatures. But first we're going to get into twisting the wire. So how I did this is I just tightened two pieces of wire and there was some tape, twisted it onto the drill and turned it on. Now this is the flux paste I used to use. I got this from Michael's when I was just starting out and I knew I needed to protect my metal somehow. This I just generously put over my pieces. However, you can see here there was a lot of discoloration. Solder wasn't really flowing great for me. I would be left with a lot of oxidation in the pieces, or they would just melt pretty quickly with too much heat. Certain pieces could be fixed with being in the heated pickle, but boric acid is the way to go. So I got this from Griffith and I mix it with 100% denatured alcohol from Ace Hardware. I like to do a 70% boric acid, 30% denatured alcohol paste mixture on the entire piece, and then just at the joint I like to add this patterned self-pickling flux, which helps the solder flow, and I allow some of that to flow onto the solder as well before heating. So I've applied my boric acid and I put a generous amount over the entire piece, making sure to especially get in those crevices because those crevices tend to get really hard to clean. And then I get my paintbrush and I put a little bit of flux just on the joint. See that green flame? That green flame is from the alcohol burning off. It's a well prepped piece at this point, and so you want to just get that solder to flow. You direct the heat just on the joint, and then the solder will flow towards the heat. A little bit more boric acid just to protect the piece. A little more flux to help coax it. And then you can see there's a tiny little ball of solder, and you can start to see how it moves up into the crevice of the bangle. And there it goes. So here I kind of go through trying to see what that joint now looks like, and I noticed that one of the wires are soldered together, but the other one in that twist is not yet soldered together. But as I don't know that, I have to clean the whole piece by putting it in the pickle, rinsing it off, and so I start to reapply my boric acid, a little bit of flux, get a new solder chip, and start heating that up. And then I noticed that the flux at the solder, at this point has been kind of difficult to get in there. And so there's a couple different methods after you've tried a few times to solder. And it consists of taking your jeweler's saw, cutting it right at that joint where you had previously soldered the one wire, and just going through that whole crevice that you've been trying to solder with the jeweler's saw and creating a new surface area on both sides to hopefully tighten your joint so that there will be no openings of that joint when you go to solder. So there is a little bit of work when it comes to this, having to modify things, but generally, if you clean your piece after each time you attempt to solder, it'll quicken the process, and then if you notice it's still not flowing, you want to recut that joint. So this is something that my mom commissioned me to do, so I'm showing it to her, and it's fun to just bring her the little things that I make because she always loves them. But I just love the luster on this bracelet. It catches the light in a beautiful way and adds so much uniqueness to her current set. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'd be happy to answer anything. And then if you would like to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel and give me a like. Thank you so much.